Hey guys, how's it going? Onich here and welcome to the third round of the Formula SimRacing 2016 World Championship. As I said, the third round takes place at Circuito de Cataluna or something like that in Spain, very close to Barcelona, which is in the top left corner right now. That's where the city of Barcelona is. So very close indeed, and we are currently in Q2, jumping into the office, so to say, my office for the season. And after Bahrain, then obviously we had a successful race at Bahrain. Very entertaining race from our perspective, definitely. Picking up a victory there, which was important after losing out on points in the first round, where I did not finish. So this third round, it was straight away a week after Bahrain, and honestly, I do usually enjoy a little break after a race, but obviously there wasn't really a break here, because straight away after a week you have another race. But I don't think that that's really an excuse to not perform well, but definitely it was a little bit of a factor. I didn't feel as prepared as before, and obviously you know, throughout the week you have school and other people will have work and whatever, so you don't have endless free time. Even though we are FSR drivers, we do have a life outside of racing. Anyway, my Q2 lap, starting this lap, I believe I was down in 6th position or something like that, 339 kilometers an hour. As we have seen in Bahrain, we were the guys who had the relatively low downforce, so higher top speed, and it is the same case I think for us in this race. We seem to be one of the cars again with the lowest downforce, which means, you know, we have less cornering grip, so to say. There's less downforce being pushed on the car, but we do have less drag down the straights because of that, and thus achieving a higher top speed. So in Bahrain that worked relatively well. It didn't really work well in qualifying, so I don't really know whether it works well over here. You see smoke coming off the tire there into the quick uphill right-hander, but I completely messed it up, to be honest. So yeah, it looks like a relatively cool lap, nice lap, but that's really it. In Q1 I did a 120.8 I think, and I'm definitely looking to achieve something similar, but I was all the way down into 6th place at this time, so I knew that I had to do a good lap at least. Coming through the final sector and the final corner, a bit of oversteer there as I tried to put down the power, coming across the line, and it's only a 5th place in fact, so I only jumped by one position, and at the end I couldn't improve anymore, and so there we are with a 120.978. But look at the two guys in front of me, Michele D'Alessandro and Mohammed Patel. They were in front of me by 0.02 of a second, and it was Bigazzi on points, twisted front row lockout, excuse me, with Bigazzi doing a 120.6, and honestly that's an insane time. That time I don't think I would have been able to achieve with the setup I had in this
Try to get another podium today if we can.
Yeah, I think that's a good goal. Just be very careful. Sector 1 of the first lap. Not just turn 1, but you know, turn 3, Jim Pro, turn 4, turn 5. Behind his Journey, and then Jim Barisis behind him, and then Kuba. Ahead it's Michele. He'll be on your right. Mohammed will be directly ahead of you. Then Daniel Kiss and Bigazzi on the front row.
So as you said, Bigazzi with 120.6, which is by far a dominant time, especially in qualifying. Behind him it's Kiss, but in third then is Mohammed Patel, and Michele D'Alessandro is in fourth. But those two guys were 0.02 of a second ahead of me, and honestly, such a little time, such a little gap makes me start, you know, 2 places down the field, and that can have major consequences for the rest of the race if we are, for example, being held up. I personally believe that, just like in Bahrain, maybe we have a little bit of a poor qualification, but I think we can do well in the race, because I feel very confident about the race pace, also with the lower downforce, of course. It is really hard to pass around this track, I have to say. There's only, there are 2 DRS zones, but there's one main passing location, which is over here, down this straight into turn 1. But still, even that is tough, because before the final corner, which we just went through, there's a really complex Mickey Mouse section, so to say, with a very slow chicane, and you really need a good exit, which is tough because you are behind someone and you pick up the dirty air from the car in front of you, and it's really hard to then get on the power. So being stationary on the grid then, waiting for the final car to line up, which is David Greco. He has a back of the grid penalty after Bahrain. And so as always, it's waiting for those 5 red lights to come on, which they are doing so right now, and they are out now, and the race is on the way, round 3 of the season, and it seems like a decent-ish start. It's still P5, obviously one of the longest runs down into the first corner on the whole calendar. Couple of 100 meters, I'm sure, down on the inside of the Alessandro. That's P4. And looking on Mohammed Patel's rear wing, not able to make a move just yet, but at least we have a good start this time. Obviously, before we dropped a few places, Michele Alessandro in the mirror, looking on the inside, but I've got that one covered. Up front, you can see the Twisters battling really hard as well, side by side into this section. Seems like one of them got past. I think Daniel Kiss is currently in the lead because he has lost his lead, I believe. So up to P4, as I said, overtaking Michele Alessandro, pretty crucial. Decent start. We didn't really get the best starts, neither in Bahrain, neither at Australia. But I changed my starting procedure for this race, not using launch control anymore, which I did use before. And it seems like it's, it works better. So that's at least good. Having a little look on the inside of Patel. There's in the background we can see an attack. I think that's Simocic, who was my teammate last year, overtaking Michele D'Alessandro. So I have a Ghost Speed car right now behind me. First lap almost completed, and this is this little Mickey Mouse section I was talking about before. I haven't mentioned Kuba yet, but Kuba is currently, I think, in 7th place, and I think he also started around
Kiss
there.
leads. That's Patel ahead of you. Car behind is now Simocic.
There we have it. My engineer saying as well what's the situation. Replay of the start then. Reasonably good start. I was happy to see that. This is Kuba's point of view. I think indeed starting from P7. So Simocic ahead of him. Kuba had a decent start. Of course, you pick up plenty of slipstream with the long run down in towards turn 1. You see a nice shot. Twisters battling quite hard. Patel in there too. And we go on the inside of D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro didn't really cover the inside for the first corner, and as a result, you know, I went for that gap which was there and took that position. So climbed 1 position at the start, which is good news. We're having a little look on Patel, but there's nothing really I can do. It was more Alessandro in my mirror who caught my eye. And I went a little bit to the inside, brake late for the next corner, just to make sure that he doesn't go up on the inside of me, just like we saw at Bahrain, for example, where basically everyone went on my inside because I left the door open the whole time. So luckily, it does look like I learn at least something sometimes, you know. A little bit of sarcasm, of course, but lap 6 of the race. Simocic is still behind us. Twisters are pulling away a little bit though, as I am stuck behind Mohammed Patel. I couldn't really get past at this moment, even though with the DRS and the boost setting, we have 2 boost settings.
Let's stay patient, our time will come.
Yep, no rush. You got the pace.
2 boost settings in Formula SimRacing this season, boost 1 and boost 2. Boost 2 giving you a little bit more horsepower, but also consumes a little bit more fuel. Here we see it, DRS wide open on Mohammed Patel. And this is the gap then, you know, closing. He goes to the inside. I'm gonna have to do it around the outside. Oh, it's gonna be tricky. No, can't do it. Yeah, it's tricky to do it around the outside there, because I wasn't really well alongside entering the braking zone. But opening up lap 7 and also opening up the attack on Patel a little bit more, applying more and more pressure, because you won't hear it in the team radio, but I did say at this time to Justin, the car felt great, and it honestly felt amazing at this time. I was really happy with the car, but I felt like I was being held up massively as well. You can see the Twisters pulling away, and honestly I believe that I can be on the pace of the Twisters, but honestly, you know, it's not coming out of it at the moment because I am behind Mohammed Patel and can't get past. But you know, that's racing, so I shouldn't complain about it, of course. Need to try to make a move on Patel, and you can see it in the mirror as well. There's quite a bit of a train behind this. Behind the guy in front of me, who is Patel. So once again, it's really vital and important to have a good exit out of the chicane. And then stay full throttle for this final corner. Opening up the arrows once again. This time I seem to be a little bit closer than before. Maybe we can attack him into the first turn. So here we go. Opening up the DRS, of course. The DRS wide open. Braking a lot later than him. Round the outside once again. Squeezing a little bit off the track there. But that's racing too. I think a little bit of contact was made with my with both wheels touching. Skipping to the end of lap 9 though. And as I said, I braked a lot later there, but I was on the outside and it's really tough. Patel has the right to take the racing line, which he did so. We made a little bit of contact. It's fine really. But it does seem clear that Patel is not going to give up that position, that third place. You know, it's a podium spot that easily. And the pit window is about to open as well. It's a 2 or a 3 stop. If you want to do a 3 stop, you are pitting right about now. If you want to do a 2 stop, you will be in for lap 14 or so. Once again, trying to do it around the outside, and a little bit of wheel banging, in fact, entering the corner makes me, makes the car a little bit unstable for me, so I couldn't do anything.
What's he doing? Was there contact for you on your screen?
Yes.
Yeah, and for me that was a little bit, you know, I really don't know. That wasn't really necessary. Because I got a little bit of a bump under braking. You don't really see it there. Oh, there was the other move. I think this is the move. Watch this. I'm on the outside. There is that little bump, and I'm like, you know, what the hell, you know? I mean, I'm clearly alongside, and while braking, you come completely to the left where I am. That's unnecessary, and it gave me a little bit of a touch. But okay, whatever. I'm gonna have to try it again.
Lots of cars in the pits from behind you. I think we should stay out to 14. Your tire life is great.
Mo has a lot of understeer in the right hand corners, I believe.
And I started to see Mo, who is Patel, struggling a little bit right now. And as you can see, we are much closer in lap 13. This time again around the outside, but we are even past before the braking. But I braked so late because I didn't want him to launch it again up my inside. He is on the outside though. I leave him space this time, unlike he did to me. But okay, around the outside for turn 3 then. Here we go. Seems to be the case that I have got him. Defending the inside line for the next corner. He's gonna have to do it around the outside, but that's not gonna happen. Tries to do the switch back, but I get on the power nicely. So it does look like we have this place. Having said that, he goes for a massive dive bomb. Makes contact with me, we end up in the grass, and that's some more time lost there for you. So Patel, as I said, not really keen on giving up his position, of course, but I think this is a little bit too much. He has been aggressive throughout the whole first stint, but yeah, honestly, this is too much, of course. Side by side here, pretty nice battle, of course, but apart from that, I think it was completely unnecessary to have such a massive dive bomb, of course. But you know, sometimes it can happen. Why I say that? Well, I'll come back on it later. Here we go. It's it's clear who is at fault here. Contact is made, of course. We lose a little bit of extra time, and this is then from my point of view, obviously going a little bit defensive for this right-hander, just to make sure that he doesn't go on my inside here. And then, yeah, I leave the door completely open over here, so I can see why he is going for that dive, but of course he braked too late, and later in or after the race he also apologized for it. And yeah, I like Patel. I mean, I always play games with him, so you know, we know each other very well. But you know, apart from playing games with each other, we are racing here. And whether I race against Patel, whether I race against Kuba, whether I race against you know, you name it, I always give everyone the same respect and the same treatment. And of course, I'm a little bit disappointed with this accident, but those accidents happen. It's a long season, and you can't expect to have always a flawless race. So yeah, of course, with this whole first stint we were being held behind Patel, and here we see the Twisters then making up that gap, and they have quite a big gap, of course, right now. Lap 13 of the race though, and Patel is going into the pit. I think Patel was struggling a little bit with tire wear at that stage, so yeah, he's going in, but it's sad for us because he is in earlier. He will get a fresh or a lap on the fresh tire.
Forget about that shit. That is lap 14. Pit this lap for the primes. Pit this lap for the primes.
And so just to say now, pit this lap for the primes as well. But obviously, like I said, Patel is right now on fresh tires. We are still on the worn tires, and so I do expect Patel to be ahead once again for the second stint, which is not good for us because yeah, we have seen what happened in the first stint. If I still can't get past, that would be bad, of course. But at this lap, I was pushing very hard, using a little bit of boost as well. Maybe, you know, instead of doing an undercut, we do the opposite. So probably an overcut or whatever you want to call it. An undercut, you basically pit earlier to get ahead of a car or stay ahead of a car. This time we are overcutting, I guess, staying out for another lap. But it's really hard to then pass a car while doing so. But you know, we give it a shot. And of course, this was my first lap in the whole race so far, being in clean air and not seeing a car in front of me, which was nice, because obviously when there's a car in front of you, you pick up more understeer because you have some dirty air. And during this lap, in fact, I drove my two fastest sectors. So sector 1 and sector 2 were my fastest sectors of the whole race, and you know, that was on worn tires, so that indicates how much time I lost behind Patel. And I really think that I could have battled with the twister, at least for this first stint. But it's the way it is, you know, sometimes that happens, and it's still a long race.
I was quicker in both sectors there on that in lap.
Boost 2 out of the pits. Boost 2 out of the pits.
I did my best 2 sectors in the first and second sector on the in lap. That shows how much we're being held up.
And that's indeed where I explained it to my engineer to Justin. As we see a Medcape behind us, a Medcape car, and I think that's Patel. It is Patel behind us, so that overcut I was talking about has worked indeed remarkably.
You beauty. That's Patel behind, Simoncic ahead.
How?
So as I said, that how is it possible that we did that? Because it's pretty hard to perform an overcut, because the undercut is usually worth about 1 to 2 seconds, something like that. Because Patel was on the fresh tires. But whatever, I think Patel maybe was in some traffic too on his outlap, and he probably had a good in lap as well, which is true because we set our best two sectors on the in lap. So George Manusakis is behind right here. He's the teammate of championship leader Jim Paresis, but Paresis didn't really seem to be having a good day today. He was down the field, and yeah, he wasn't really even someone I consider to be a threat to us for this race. We are then definitely on a 2-stopper. Remember, I said lap 14 would be a 2-stop, which is the case. Kuba has stayed out, by the way. He is going until lap 15, so he would be in the pit right now.
On option in front?
Yes. Yeah, that's Journey ahead. He is 3-stopping, we think. He's on options. He's doing high 24s. Bugatti and Kuba are pitting.
Bugatti and Kuba are pitting. That's where we see it. Kuba behind us. Kuba also having a really nice inlet, by the way. Look at that. The gap between Kuba and I isn't even that big. Excuse me. So pay attention to Kuba as well, of course, throughout this race. As Simoncic, excuse me, is in front of us. It's going well over here. Simoncic is in front of us. He is on the option tire, however. We are on the prime tire. Simoncic was on the free stop, hence why he got out ahead of us. He pitted in lap 10 and thus having a big undercut on us. But we put some pressure on him, and with the different strategies in this field, it opens up for a few battles, of course. This is one of them.
So just boost 1 this time.
And just as saying, just boost 1 this time, because we had to do a little bit of fuel saving. There was a car pulling off into the pit lane, and we have DRS on Simoncic. I think Simoncic himself has DRS too. Yes, he has, on that car who went into the pit lane. Around the outside here, Simoncic braking really late, side by side into the first couple of corners. Simoncic luckily leaving room for me on the outside there. We're still on the outside for turn 3, still side by side. This is a good battle, of course, but I don't want a repeat of what happened to with me and Patel, of course, still around the outside. Simoncic leaving room, of course, as well, and now I have the inside line from the next corner, so I need to make this one stick, but there's a little bit of contact on the entry there, and I almost lost the car. It didn't really seem like it from that point of view, but we'll obviously have a look at that in the replay. So once again, I was ahead on the braking, but Simoncic had the inside line for his corner. He brakes really late, but yeah, he made the move stick with also leaving enough room for me, so that's nice to see, you know, respect being given between us. Then here around the outside, Simoncic the inside. Again, it's great to see battles when two drivers have got plenty of respect for each other. And then here is where I make a little bit of contact. I'm not gonna lie, I was the one who was at fault there with Simoncic. I thought Simoncic would go to the right, but Simocic stayed to the left. So yeah, I positioned myself a little bit more to the right while he kept the line tight for me, so to say, and I didn't expect that, thus creating a little bit of contact. And honestly, that was my bad, because I completely expected Simocic to go to the right, which he didn't do, and obviously he has all right to not do that. Here we see it. He stays a little bit tight, like he stays to the left. Well, I expected him to go a little bit more to the right, and then here, you know, almost lost it. There was a lot of opposite lock required there, that's for sure. I honestly thought I would lose it, but luckily we didn't. So lap 21, then this time Simocic won't have DRS and we will have DRS. So I think this would be a pretty straightforward move, which it is indeed. This time on the inside, lap 22 of the race, and got past Simocic, excuse me. But Simocic, of course, is on the free stop. Seems like as well we are pulling away from Kuba a little bit at this time, even though we battled with Simocic. But I think Kuba is himself busy too with some traffic. So that's that explains that. So Daniel Kiss still leading, lap 27. The Twisters are still in the lead. Bigazzi is behind that, but look at us. We are in third, Kuba in fourth right now, and I think we have closed the gap a little bit to those two Twister cars. But at this time, my engineer told me that I really had to do some fuel saving, and honestly, I did not like that at all. Here's a short summary of the team radios.
Okay, we need to do some fuel saving, so either use boost 2 for half the straight or just not at all. And I'd like to give us some extra fuel to play with later on. Rear tires are similar to simulation, front tires are better. Front tires are better.
Oh, this is tough.
Doing good, doing good. You are catching both Bigazzi and Kiss, and that's even with the fuel saving, so you're doing good. I want to fuel save till 36, then we'll go back to using boost 2 for the main straight.
Yeah, I say this is tough because I can see those two cars ahead of me, and really I thought I could take the battle to them, but it's tough to do so when you have to fuel save as well. Yeah, I only use boost every lap down the main straight, but I couldn't do that, and that loses you like I think 2/10 in the first sector every lap.
You have no clue how tough it is to fuel save while seeing that car in front of me.
Dare I say it again, you know. I think I can extract more out of this stint by using more fuel, but yeah, Justin wants to attack later on in the race, and I respect Justin, and he gives me the order to fuel save. Maybe I think it's not the right idea, but Justin has got the overlay of what's going on this race. Me as a driver is just driving around trying to lap as fast as he can, basically. Well, not really, because if I would really do so, then I would destroy the tires and we would be on a 4-stop, which is another subject, by the way. I don't think I have pushed a single lap at my 100% yet in this season. That's because the tires simply won't like it, and they simply won't last. If I go full ham, so to say, and push at the maximum, my tires won't last at all, even when I do it for one lap. But yeah, that's the way it is, and that is modern F1, I guess.
You're now starting.
Is Kuba still behind?
Yep, that's Kuba behind.
Kuba is quick. As I said.
Lap 38, we pit next lap.
So on board with Kuba right now, who has closed the gap significantly to us. I think we stayed about the same gap to the leader, so Kiss and Bigazzi. Oh, Kiss is also pulling away a little bit, I think. But at least to Bigazzi the gap was about the same. But coming towards the end of the stint here, and Kuba is much quicker than us. And I said to Justin, Kuba is quick, like I said. I said to Justin in the warm-up, which is the session before the race. I said to Justin, Kuba is strong towards the end of the stints, because Kuba, his tire wear is 10 times better than us almost. Well, 10 times is obviously a little bit too much, but you know what I mean. Kuba's tire wear is a lot better than us. And I think I have the pace on Kuba, definitely in the beginning of the stint. But towards the end of the stint, he is simply like 8/10 per lap quicker than us. And that is the case over here. So that gap which I created to Kuba before is obviously now being closed up by Kuba. And suddenly Kuba seems to be a big threat to us. As Kuba is really close behind us as well. I think he may have a move. Or try to make a move stick on the inside of turn 1. Here we go. Yeah, it does look like Kuba will make a move stick. I go defensive, of course. He will have the DRS though wide open, and there's not a lot I can do. Here goes Kuba, and there was Kuba. little bit of a wave. Might as well have done that when he went by. But I lost the podium position to my teammate, of course, Kuba. And you never really want to see that. You always want to beat your teammate.
Lap 39, we pit this lap.
So pitting this lap then, of course, Hoofster there. But my tires have pretty much given up. And you can see how much more understeer I have than Kuba had. But that's what I expected. It's just like I expected it. I expected myself to be stronger than Kuba at the beginning of the stint. But later on, Kuba would be quicker again. And it's certainly the case over here. Which is not great, because honestly I want to kick my teammate's ass as much as I can, and currently he is kicking my ass. But lap 39 then, coming into this into the pit on this lap. 27 more laps to go in this race, so it's not over yet at all. And maybe, ooh, that was close. That was pretty close, I have to say. Lots of opposite lock there, and that shows that my tires have given up. And so it's a wise decision to pit in this lap. So there we are, into the pit we go. Activating the pit limiter.
Believe it or not, your tires are 5% better on the front than they were in simulation.
Yeah, but Kuba has 60% left. Like, I swear Kuba is above 50% right now on his tires.
Yeah, so for example, my front left tire life would be still at like 35% remaining, and Kuba would have been at about 55 or something like that, you know, something ridiculous. And that's clear that Kuba has got a little advantage then later on in the stint. But I have been struggling with tire wear throughout the whole season, and I think in the team I have been the car which has had most tire wear.
These guys still need to pit. You've got maybe 2 liters of fuel to play with, 2.5, but that's for the entire race. So if you use it to get by them now, we'll have to do a bit of fuel saving later. Paris ahead. After him, it's Greco.
So Paris is ahead, and these guys are obviously on that free stop. There's a little bit of traffic, of course, because of that. Position 8, lap 41. And not able to get by Paris because Paris himself is getting DRS off David Greco, who is in front of him. Greco, by the way, props to him, because he started from last position and is currently driving in 6th, I think that is. Maybe even 5th around this time, because people pitted. So once again, here we go, lap 43 of the race. We have got DRS, but so has Paris. Paris is on the inside of David Greco. Now it's getting interesting for us. Let's see, while they are battling, whether we can capitalize, but it already seems like Paris is past. Yeah, Paris is already past Greco, but here we go. This is what I meant. A little bit of a sniff on the inside. I'm not gonna go for it, because it's very easy to collide with another driver there. And on the inside here, outbreaking Greco. Ooh, careful, don't make contact with Greco. On the inside though, more grip than Greco, who was at the end of his stint. And climbing a position. So indeed capitalizing a little bit on the battle, that little battle that Paris and Greco had, and immediately taking Greco to and following Paris now. But I was not happy at all to see this traffic. And you know, see what I thought right now is, what if we just did not fuel save in the second stint and maybe fuel save in the final stint? At least we wouldn't really have been as much in this traffic as we would have been now. You know, maybe I would have come out ahead of Paris at least, which doesn't seem like much. You know, it's one car, but we saw with Patel as well in the first stint. I was stuck behind him, you know, one car, but I was stuck for 12-13 laps, and that costs you a lot of time in the long run. But it's okay. Sometimes these things just happen, and I don't blame Justin. Don't get me wrong, not at all. But I do think this race could have panned out a lot better than us, because still, you know, I felt I had the pace to do much better than the position we are in right now. And it's the way it sometimes goes, and you have to do your best as a driver to still, you know, get as many points as possible.
Next is Mashuli. He's on 25 lap old primes.
So those were the twisters. This is Kuba. See, Kuba isn't cleaner. Then it's Mashuli, then it's us, then it's Paris, of course, which we overtook before. 22 more laps to go, opening up the attack on Eros Mashuli, or Masciuli, as the Italians would say. The DRS right open there, but you know, this hairpin here, I think it's turn 10, not really an overtaking location, unless you can completely get alongside someone, which I couldn't do there. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit more patient waiting for this entire third sector to make a move. And obviously the longer I am behind Mashuli, the more of a gap Kuba is going to create. And you can't even see Kuba anymore over here, so there he is. You can see him as a dot on the horizon pretty much. DRS wide open here, by the way. And I think this is a straightforward move. Mashuli doesn't even bother defending. And there we are. Cut by Mashuli as well. So back into 4th place. So Kiss is still leading, then it's Bigazzi, then it's Kuba, our teammate, and then it is us. But I did not want to give up. I'm a little bit of a fighter in that way, and I find it very hard to accept defeat, so to say. Kuba we see over there having a bit of a gap to us, but I'm going to push a little bit in the stint. Maybe I can put some pressure on Kuba. Again, a summary of the team radios.
Next car is Kuba, but at this point just look after the tires. We're doing 27 laps on the primes this stint. Tire life is same as simulation, so there's 19 laps left. So if we can catch him slowly and save our tires as much as we can, that'd be perfect.
Is the car behind us a threat?
Car behind is not a threat,
I know he will be much quicker than me at the end, so
Is he around pushing a
I
lot?
have to do it rather soon, but it's a tough task really.
Yeah, sorry about the voice you heard there. That's Pascal is who you heard. He's the engineer of Kuba, and of course Justin is in contact with Kuba's engineer Pascalis. So you heard him talking a little bit through it, but yeah, Justin wanted me to look after the tires a lot. But if I really would have done that, then I would not have closed this gap to Kuba. And I said it in the team radio as well. The chance of overtaking Kuba, even though it's really slim, you know, the biggest chance would be to do it as early as possible. Because if I wait longer and longer, there will be a point where my tires are so worn and Kuba's tires aren't so worn, and he has the pace down, just like we saw in the last stint, and there will be an overlap. I think that's the word I was looking for. And I think that overlap would be at about lap 56, 57. So if I want to do it, I need to make a move in before that.
Gap's 1.3.
The gap is 1.3, so getting within DRS range as well. You can see in lap 57 I am within DRS range of Kuba, so we closed that gap to him.
Now I am reaching the first drop off of performance, and he will only notice it in the 4 laps time or so.
Yeah, so I am right now in the stage where I notice my tires are starting to fall off, while Kuba is going to notice it in like 3 or 4 laps time, because he has the better tire wear. Yeah, of course I pushed a little bit, not at the complete maximum of course, because in that way I wouldn't even make the end of the race, but I pushed a little bit to close up that gap, which I have done, but what now, you know?
This is the overlap, you just get quicker and quicker now.
No worries, 18 seconds to the car behind, 18 seconds. Yeah, Kuba's front left is at 71.
What a flipping bell sprout.
And then I say what a flipping bell sprout. That's my usual curse word for someone, you know. But yeah, of course, I got close, but it's not close enough. Here we see it, having DRS on him. But with 8 more laps to go, I pretty much have got to say farewell again to Kuba. But at least I tried. I really hate it if I would have to save tires and wouldn't be able to close that gap. At least I closed the gap now and maybe applied some pressure on him, and I think that's the best I could do.
I think Kuba can still attack the twister.
Definitely Bigazzi, yeah.
Sorry, team radio cutting off a little bit there. I said I think Kuba can still attack the twisters.
Yeesh. Bigazzi's going even slower than you by like half a second a lap. He might be struggling.
Look on the horizon, by the way, we saw 2 cars going side by side into the first turn, and this is insane. Look at Kuba. Where is he? He's gone to absolute Narnia, and in those few laps, like lap 58 until now, lap 64, this is the gap Kuba has been creating on me again.
Protect the tires, but also push, and fuel save, but also use boost too.
You have weird orders, man. Need to check yourself.
And then there's a little bit of a chat with our team radio, of course. Also with Kuba, calling Kuba a bell sprout, a flipping bell sprout. But Kuba, you can see him here, has overtaken Bigazzi. So Kuba is in second, Bigazzi in third. We are in fourth as the final lap is underway. And yeah, honestly, Kuba has done an amazing job, and I take my hat off for Kuba. For taking second as well, and He may even get first if he does well in his final lap, but that's gonna be a tough task. From my point of view, you know, I think I tried as hard as I could, but obviously I used a little bit more of the tires in the beginning of this final stint. Firstly to get by traffic, and then secondly to close the gap to Kuba. And as a result of that, my tires are obviously a little bit worn. Oh, by the way, in the team radio, you heard Justin saying Kuba's front left is at 71 right now. At that stage, I was at 57, so that's a 14% difference, and you definitely notice that in lap time. But again, I have to say props to Kuba, and I take my hat off, of course. Even though he's my teammate and I want to beat him, I'm gonna have to be realistic as well, and say that Kuba has done a better job than us in this race. I think we may have been lucky in Bahrain with the strategy and everything which happened around us. Maybe today we were not so lucky, but I wouldn't really blame the luck. I think we have to improve for next race. But I think the point where it went wrong for us is maybe already the qualifying, where if I was only 0.003 of a second quicker, I would have started in third, and maybe then it would have been a whole different race for us. But that's racing, and that's the way it sometimes goes.
Oh, so close for Kuba. Half a second behind, man. One more lap and he would have had him. 100% would have had him. Good job, though. I think all things considered, I think that went about as well as it could have. We didn't have the best luck, but we didn't necessarily have bad luck either, so...
It's not about luck, we are gonna have to improve for next race.
Yep.
Yes, thank you again for the work. Let's make sure that we're stronger next time though.
Yep. Second and fourth, not freaking bad though, not freaking bad.
Could be better.
Yeah, it could have been first and third like Twister, but you know.
I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest. I think the only positive is Paris is in 6, who is the championship leader.
Yeah, Paris is then in 6. And that's the championship leader. And as I said, I think that's the only positive for us, and of course for the team. It's nice to see Kuba doing well. With all respect to Kuba, he has done an amazing job. But yeah, I think I would like to improve for next race and again be ahead of him. Here we have the final results then. As you can see, Paris, the championship leader, was in 6. He was on a free stop, so was Simocic. Simocic in the end finishing about 9 seconds behind us. So I had a big buffer behind me as well, which was another reason to push a little bit more in the final stint, because there was absolutely no threat from behind, so I could afford to take a few risks. But Kuba, for me, being the one of the drivers of the day, I think he gained 6 positions from his starting place, and again that shows that I think we are great in the race, but qualifying is where we lose it a little bit, and I do think that is slightly down to the extra downforce that some people are running around us. Nonetheless, it's a 4th place for us, 11.4 seconds behind the leader, and Kuba, as you heard on the team radio as well, finishing only half a second behind Daniel Kiss, so Kuba almost would have had 1st place as well. I think that's pretty much it though for this race. The championship standings, I think Paris is leading 45 points. I think Bigassi has 43 points, we have 37, and Kuba has 36. That's it though for this race. I hope to see you next time, round 4, the Canadian Grand Prix. I'm gonna say goodbye, and I thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like, but that is pretty much it. Thanks again, and see you next time. Goodbye.